Hey everybody, look who came in to join us for a rounding thing of DISHIN Days. We're going to get through this. Coming up next.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Clearly, English is not Tony's first language.
That was stellar.
Can't use that for my reel. Hey everybody, welcome to AfterBuzz TV's DISHIN Days, where we give you a full recap of this week's episodes of the Emmy Award-winning #1 hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. I'm your host, Tony Moore, and we got a full gaggle of gals in the house. We have to my far left,
Michael Mattis. Hi, what's up?
and of course,
How are ya?
the ever beautiful.
Hey y'all, Tami Goveia.
And guess who's back in the house? Mark J. Freeman.
Daquan is not happy about it.
Daquan is never happy when I'm here, but that's okay. And JLJ Media is in the chat room.
Oh,
so
yes, he is.
Chat her up. She is in Pennsylvania or
Pittsburgh.
Ohio.
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Last week I called her Carmen Sandiego because she is international, honey. She is just everywhere. Thank you guys for tuning in live.
Yes, Demo. Yes, Demo.
Thanks for tuning in live, everyone. If you haven't already, make sure you like us and follow us on all social media platforms. We are DISHIN Days on Facebook and Instagram, and _ DISHIN Days on Twitter. The @ is implied. Now, if you are a super fan of all other soaps, make sure you check out the GH Report for General Hospital and Restless Rap for the whatever.
Report.
Also,
He's
also,
got
y'all
it.
gotta pay attention. I promise there's only water in my cup.
That's the problem.
I've had 2 Chardonnays and a Rosé Veuve, so let's bring it.
And also the Restless Rap. Make sure you check out those 2 after shows as well. Also, if you like us a whole bunch, make sure you not only comment on this video.
Or hate us, because I like a hateful comment.
Yeah.
She feeds off of it. We don't call her Ursula for nothing. Also, make sure you
I was fat.
Well, make sure you head over to iTunes and rate and comment over there. Who knows, you might land our ever so covenant fan of the week.
Woohoo! You can't do it without the woohoo.
Right.
now.
And I think that's it. Are those all the announcements from the poll?
For now.
It is.
For now.
All right.
So.
For now.
Well, Mark J. Freeman, welcome back. Let everyone know what
You
you've been
act
up
like I haven't
to.
been. I've been here was here like 2 weeks ago.
You weren't here 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Was it 2
I
weeks?
was.
Yeah, 'cause I was-
I
when
like
I
skipped
wasn't
a
here.
week.
Oh,
I think
that's
I skipped
right.
a week.
Well, it seems like forever.
That's okay.
Yeah. What have you been
Clearly, life goes on.
Does it?
Yeah, it does.
Sure. Well,
Yeah, it was a rough week for me because we say this all the time. Most of you probably watch in foreign countries and on the East Coast, but here in Los Angeles, most breaking news happens
at
between
1.
1 and 2 o'clock.
So annoying.
Week Monday through Friday. So I feel a little off because I kept watching stuff. Partially on my DVR, partially on demand, partially. So I was jumping around. I was like kind of out of it. So it has nothing to do with the 2 Chardonnays and the Rosé Veuve that I've had before the show.
I totally feel you. Like, I mean, I felt bad because I was like, I really want to watch Days, but they were laying to rest former President Bush.
Yeah.
My bad, but I really wanted to know what happened to
I wish they would
Abigail.
just play it again every evening at 3 in the morning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You
Used to
could
do that.
record
I don't know why they
both,
don't do that
So
anymore.
then, if the stupid stuff happened during the day, which it will, fires happen, kidnappings happen, Amber
Police
Alerts
chase
happen,
Car
happens.
chases.
people
Yeah,
get
love a good
buried
car
at
chase.
1 o'clock.
Oh my God.
West Coast time. So,
What
it was
they
rough.
do instead of putting it on at 3 a.m. now, they just make it live on NBC.com
Right.
earlier than normal.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just make
Which,
it live.
that's
that
what
But I
I
can't
did.
fast forward through that
Right,
scene,
no.
which is annoying.
ding,
But-
ding, 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 ding.
Here's an alternative, which is great, is watch it on the app because it's far less time.
Do you work for the app, Tony Moore?
No, I
Give
don't.
me a little
The,
sidekick from
the
that.
NBC app, not at all. What did you guys think of this week of Days? Oh, it was so quiet.
I know.
It was so quiet.
No, I was trying to figure out where to start because we had I felt like a lot happened. It was another one of
Yeah.
it was one of those weeks where like every character had something going on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it was just, a little sporadic.
I was thinking twists and confrontations.
Twists and confrontations.
Yeah.
That could be a segment.
Twists and confrontations. Yeah, right.
Twists and confrontations.
So, which is
Work on
great.
that.
I mean, Kate confronting.
Sorry, Tami.
That's okay. Giggle, giggle, giggle. Kate confronting Leo. I mean, just those kinds of moments were awesome.
Oh, well, yeah. Chad, what's his name confronting Chad? Sonny confronting,
Yes.
and then that whole thing.
Oh, be
yeah.
careful, Michael Matters. We are.
I know. I'll get yelled at again.
Yeah, you will.
Oh, well.
Well, I have a lot
That
to
was a
say
fun
too.
night
I'm probably going to
wrestling.
get yelled at, but
All right. Well,
we'll see.
since everyone has a lot to say, let's dive right into it. It's now time to start Dishin Days.
Hey, don't break
aggressive.
that.
I made my own sound
Violent.
effects. I forgot that
Damn.
he made
That
one.
was
so.
violent.
All right. So,
Don't you change
well, I gotta know what's
my
coming
computer.
up. Let's start with the Will, Sonny, Leo, Kate, Chad storyline. Right off the bat, I just have to say, like, when Leo came back, I was a little like, oh, girl. But the more he's just around, just making himself at home and just being like, blah, I'm like, okay, girl.
I
I'm
was
here for
hoping
it.
I'd get another back-to-back quote of the week from him, because he's been kind of amusing to watch for me.
He's like he's a snarky gay. He's a sassy gay.
Which
I
you
think
know
they-
I like.
I
me a
like the
snarky
snarkiness,
gay.
but not like every line out of his mouth doesn't need to be sass. After a while, I was like,
I don't know.
yeah.
I know. I was really enjoying
Says
all the
Mark.
I
sides.
enjoy
Says
like,
Mark, right.
Because
Right.
there isn't any of that. He's really
Yeah.
the only sassy sass.
I'm
Yeah.
afraid
in
they're making
Salem.
him. The one thing that Days of Our Lives has done very well ever since they introduced Sonny and Will came out of the closet is they're not making the gay characters like stereotypes, and I feel like that's where they're going with Leo, and I'm kind of disappointed.
Well,
I'm
do,
okay with
what,
that.
do you think they're going with that, or is that a choice that Greg is making?
It could be a choice that Greg's making.
Because-
I don't know.
That's a good
Or my other thought was that they saw my interview with Sonny and Will, and they decided to use a lot of those terms that I played at Day of Days. Did you notice?
I did notice there
Twink
were
was
some of
used.
them. Yep.
Yeah, Butch
Yep.
was used.
Yep.
So although I
They
didn't
didn't use an Ursula. or
Ursula,
whatever.
did
Ursula
not.
has not been used yet.
Not
Ursula
yet,
has
Give
not
it
been used.
time.
Although you
Chat
did
room.
call me Ursula when we started the show.
But I feel like
queer woman.
I feel like Chandler's working on it.
yeah,
He's
I think
working on
Chandler. I
working
think
it in.
you'll be surprised one day, and
it'll-
Chandler's gonna slip in an
Slip it
Ursula. Yeah.
I kind of like that there is a bit of sass because
It's not a little bit of sass. Like
Well,
everything out of his mouth is a.
I like it.
But
quirky
he
comment.
rocks it. He delivers
Yeah.
it.
Me
I
too.
mean, he
But
knocks
it's
it out
also-
of the park.
and it's so different from how Sonny and Will are that you kind of need that.
comic
You know what I mean?
relief
Yeah,
kind of
just a little
thing.
bit. And even how he presented like, I have evidence. Well, I'm glad you asked. Roll that footage.
I agree with James
It's
Lott
like-
Jr. I think the gays on Days aren't gay enough.
Oh God.
I
No,
agree,
they're fine.
JLJ.
They're fine.
Yeah, that whole video thing shocked me.
Mm-hmm.
I was not expecting that.
Oh, of the rolling him up. And
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting a video to be
No.
had either, but he has the receipts, so he covered everything. But even with, I'm kind of with Kate as far as like me confessing does what. Like
Yeah.
after that, because it's gonna ruin me. And Sonny was like, oh yeah, well I'll always go back to you. Yeah, I'm gonna have to be protected in this too, because I'm not gonna go down and then you still have
Yep.
to go through whatever it is you have to go through. There has to be a point for this.
Yeah.
And when Leo came in and was like, it's not gonna make a difference, it's really not. Like Kate,
No.
making a public apology about it doesn't change the fact that Leo still wants Sonny to marry him, and he still has evidence that they tried to cover up his murder.
Good, bad, right, or wrong. I want Kate to do whatever she needs to do to cover her ass.
I love how Kate just does stuff and just gets away with it somehow. Like she has done, like for 20 years, this woman has like framed people for murder, tried to kill people. She's still standing,
'Cause
has
she
done
always looks
very
great
minimal
doing
jail
it.
time, and I don't know.
It's the power of Salem PD.
Hope sloppy police work.
That too.
Jesus.
Oh boy!
Lord.
Don't. Oh God! You said
No,
the
I
trigger
was
word.
I was with Mark this week. I was like, girl, you are sloppy.
Wow.
Anyway, we'll get to that.
Got beat up by a rock.
I did have a question though.
Yes.
Has Sonny always been so annoying in crises?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Because I
kinda
know,
Well,
like in the past year, he's been highly annoying. But has he always been this way? Just
Yeah.
like incapable
that's
of managing a crisis?
that's how he that's his normal reaction.
Oh my living word!
Well, and I think
it's
that's
like
why,
nails on a chalkboard.
I think that's why.
Will.
Oh, I just
Leo?
lost it. That threw me off. Sorry. It popped on my screen and it threw me off. Go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah, he remember when the murder actually happened.
Oh, I know.
How frazzled he was.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's why Brady is always so adamant that he not be head of Titan.
Right.
He's
You know
too
what?
young.
Because
Good
of
point.
how he is.
He
like
just
that.
can't.
Yeah.
He can't deal.
Well, even when Chad offered the position back, he was like, I can't take that on right now. I have too much going on in my
Yeah.
life. And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, then what are you doing for work?
Yeah.
Where your money coming from?
Yeah.
There were moments where I just remember that scene in Moonstruck where Cher just slaps Nicolas Cage.
Snap out of it.
Snap out of it. I wanted
that
Will
movie.
just go boom.
Yeah. I don't know. I am still kind of interested in seeing like where this is going to go, but I'm just kind of like,
Guess I'm going to have to marry him.
Yeah.
No.
yeah.
You got to figure this out.
there has to be some sort of alternative.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway,
But I like Leo. I mean, if it means he's going to be on the canvas for a little while longer, I'll
Yeah,
take it.
I'm digging Leo.
I love him.
I am glad that Leo is bad, and I just hope that they continue to build the gay community in Salem,
They need a gay bar.
where Lorraine Love performs.
Lorraine, hosted by Lorraine.
And
Drag
Maxine
Queen Bingo,
Sutton's like
hosted by
Drag
Lorraine
Queen
Love.
Bingo.
Drag Queen Bingo.
All right, that was pretty much it for that
Yeah.
week, right?
Yeah.
All right, so moving right along, we have
Chad, Abigail, Stefan, Gabby,
Gabby,
Kate,
all them
and
people.
Jennifer.
Okay, so I don't know how you guys felt, but like
We're gonna tell you.
when last week when I saw Abigail pretending to be Gabby, my first thought was, I was like, oh boy, I wonder how Kate Mansi is going to handle this. But then I thought she is Abigail portraying Gabby, so it kind of works.
Yeah, we talked about that before the show. Like how it's not as Marcy would have done it, but it doesn't have to be
Because she's Abigail playing
Exactly.
Gabby. I still have to give kudos to Kate Mansi because she really is stepping into and handling it very well. But it's that transition where like you're now looking at her with a magnifying glass, like
Yeah.
we're so used to this portrayal,
She's
and it's
being extremely probably scrutinized by everybody watching.
Well, it was like this when Kate left and Marcy came on. It took me a long time.
It's something about this character when they there's a high interest in this character for some reason. Like I haven't seen another actor switch like with fans have as much like
There's such
passion
a
and they're so
spotlight.
staunch about who who they like better.
But at least when Kate Mansi left first, it was like she jumped out of the window and boom, she was gone, right? And then when Marcy transitioned in, it was like she was bringing on how Abigail would be after her treatment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it wasn't like she jumped out of the window and then a week later Marcy came in. Like there was a time to be like, she's away, she's getting treatment, so we could accept like this new Abigail. With this transition, it was like, Marcy, beat up, Gabby, and then like a week later, the storyline is still going, and then we see the transition to Kate.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, but Kate's doing a great job. Kate's,
I think so,
I
too.
just want to make sure that that's clear. My heart broke when Stefan was like against the wall and he was just crying his eyes out, because I felt like it was a moment where he was just really hoping that he wasn't being played with, that like this actually is Gabby, and that his feelings weren't being toyed with. And my heart kind of broke because I'm like, it isn't her, boo. Like, I'm sorry. Like, but I felt really bad for him.
Well, I think regardless of how you feel about the character Stefan, you have to give it up to Tyler Christopher because that moment was
It was heartbreaking.
profound. Yeah, he didn't have to go there as an actor. There's a million ways he could have played it, but he really just, he nailed it. So I loved it.
It didn't make that big of an impression on me, but I can see why. I can see why you guys think that.
I can see
Mark J. Freeman. Any
Oh,
thoughts?
it didn't make an impression on you, Mark J. Freeman?
The next topic.
How are you feeling about this storyline?
I'm,
Not enough Billy?
I was raised by a wonderful woman named Diane who taught me if you don't have nice things to say, don't say anything at all.
That doesn't stop you
Well, I was
from
gonna say,
not
what
saying
is that
anything
about
about
I am riding the roller coaster and I am enjoying it for what it is, and that is all I will say.
Just a fan
Fan
with
with
open
open
arms.
Chad's amazing.
I mean, he's all right. I'm glad that I'm now anxious to see like how the result of the baby is going to play out.
Well, we saw in the promo that Julie finds out.
Right.
In that promo.
Yes.
I think
How she finds out, I don't know.
Abigail she goes to visit Abigail and Abigail asks her to help her figure it out. I think they showed that as well. I think they showed her talking to Abigail.
But you want to talk about sloppy, Miss Gabby, girl?
Gabby,
can you do a search of the house first before you decide to break in and like? And where'd she get the stethoscope from?
Well, she also left the password.
I know, on the
note
floor.
on the floor of Kayla. Was it Kayla that discovered it? Yeah.
It's like,
So-
girl, sloppy,
But that's
sloppy,
what happens.
sloppy.
Eventually, you do something. You
mistake,
get sloppy.
yeah.
You make
Yeah.
a mistake.
But she's been making mistakes throughout this whole little plan, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I still do like to see like this devious Gabby, but I want her to be a little more tight knit with the plan.
No, her world's crumbling down around her.
Yeah.
Well,
It'll happen eventually.
yeah, but yeah, okay, we'll see how that unfolds. That was it. All right, moving on. Our next storyline is
Why did I come today?
Hope, Ted, Rafe. Was that? Is that?
No
it?
one can say that
Ben.
I'm talking
Ben.
over them today.
Huh?
So nobody can say that I'm talking over them today.
I
Can you just nudge me when you guys are done?
just don't know how to feel about this storyline because
I do.
I don't like. It's one of those stories. I'm interested in seeing the result, but I want the result to come now and get it over with.
Like
you know what I
yesterday.
mean? Like
Day before yesterday.
I want to see where it goes, but I don't want them to drag this on anymore.
Oh, they will.
Because Hope is being so stupid.
well,
Like, and she's being so sloppy, and she's not like cleaning up. She's creating a lot. Like, first of all, if she was gonna tell Rafe, like, oh, I'm spending the night at Jennifer's, her first phone call should have
Should've
been
been
Yeah,
to
to
Jennifer.
Absolutely.
and been like, hey, I'm telling Rafe so that Jennifer knows. And then what about Jennifer?
she
And then
did.
she called and left a voicemail after she had
After.
told the lie.
you have to make sure you have to
come
call
up with
me
the-
right now.
Yeah,
Because I
exactly.
need to let you know this plan. And Rafe is like on it. But my whole thing is this: I'm kind of tired of the whole
Hope.
did Ben start the fire and Hope trying to find something to pin him on to keep him from Sierra.
It's being dragged out a little bit.
It is, and then
a little bit.
like I feel like okay, I'm gonna compare Ben to like a Demera.
Okay.
When a Demera walks in the room, everyone is kind of like, but they're never like hateful, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Like,
They're,
I
they're
feel-
suspicious and
Yeah.
they're keeping an eye
Cautious.
on them.
Yes.
Cautious. Good
Cautious.
word. Yeah.
But they're still kind of cordial, but they still got one eye on them.
They're not vomiting.
they're not
on
immediately
somebody. Yeah.
pulling the gun to him.
When Ben walked into Doug's place and Julie was like,
Oh my
all the
God.
tables are reserved. And then he's like, well, there's a lot of tables here. Well, they're all reserved for anyone else except you because you're a serial killer. And I wanted to go,
Yeah.
Julie, like, girl, like, are you serious? Like, if anything, be smart. If he's dating Sierra, by all means, that table right there
Exactly.
I can keep my
is
eye on it.
available.
Yep.
And I'm,
Thank you. Keep my eye on you. Yes.
Okay, it's similar. I have a comment to make about
That didn't
Julie,
make
similar
any
to what I
sense.
made about Victor. Like, instead of being like funny,
Those of you who are
curmudgeonly-
listening to this and cannot see, Tony's cleaning the table as he's
And keeping an eye
imitating
on Sarah.
Julie.
keeping an eye on sin.
Keeping
Like,
an eye on sin. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Mr. Mattis. Miss Mattis.
Mrs. She's married.
No,
Yes,
it's like
it's-
when they have like last week with Victor, like his comments were just hateful and mean instead of like oh Victor, and that's what happened with Julie this week. I feel like they just made her mean.
Yeah.
I don't like that. That was my comment.
JLJ says, I wouldn't mind Hope and Ted sleeping together, though.
And
Me
I was,
either.
can I just say how disappointed I was? Because remember at Day of Days when
Yeah.
they were doing the previews and they showed that scene of him coming out of the bathroom in the towel.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, Hope had an affair! I
Oh,
was so
yeah.
I
excited.
didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't think that. I was
so
like,
excited.
oh, this
and then it's like, wah, wah, wah.
I was kind of with you on that when I was kind of like, oh, like how is that going to play out? And then I was like, oh, he's just going to walk in and it's going to be interpreted as such. So yeah, well,
Because I thought he was going to be what breaks them up. Her and
yeah,
Rafe.
yeah.
But
I
guess not.
But I liked that moment of connection with Ted and Hope, as far as like both of them losing kids. Because
That was an interesting moment.
yeah,
We
because
didn't hear anything before about
No.
him
About
having
Ted.
kids,
No,
right?
no.
Okay, that was really
Of
awesome.
course, in my I'm like, he could be lying.
I thought
Like, I don't
about
know if we
that,
can
but
try- I
to
don't know- I
use
don't know.
that.
no.
I don't know. He's proven himself to be less than scrupulous
Little
before.
dubious.
I wouldn't put it past him to lie about that.
No,
but
I
that's
think
pretty bad.
I think
if he
there, I think there are moments of connection. Like even when he cooked and like they sat down and kind of shared a meal, there was a connection there. The fact that she felt, vulnerable enough to talk about Zach, and then he mentioned how he's lost a child and it was only 5 years ago, so it still kind of resonates with him. Like I don't think he would lie about something like that in
hope
order
not.
to connect with Hope, because
Yeah,
I feel
did
like
think that though, like maybe he would.
I feel like there's already this level of trust. But when I tell you he was a little biatch when Ben
came in.
Oh my God!
Ben came in. Hope.
Oh my God! Like how spineless can you be?
And then Hope came out like Charlie's Angels, like
Da-na-na.
stay right there, Ben. And Ben's like, you again. So yeah.
Oh my God!
I wonder what turned Ted. They did like he was so kind of he wasn't this wussy before. You know what I mean?
He's scared.
He's scared.
He's scared of the
Of
male.
Stefan. He's scared.
He's God.
Yeah.
Are we gonna discuss the first date?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we're
down
not
there in
there.
Oh, is it
Tidbits.
down?
we're
Is
not
it
there
down
yet.
there?
Yeah, we're not down there yet.
Oh, sorry.
But I tell you where we are at. A little bit of news that we have to do for AfterBuzz TV.
Oh.
Which, yep, there we go. A little bit of an announcement from your kind folks here at AfterBuzz TV. So, AfterBuzzers, here at the network, we produce after shows for nearly all your favorite TV shows, from dramas, which is what we're covering, to reality TV, sci-fi, and more. There is no network that works harder to serve television fans. But now we need your help. We're asking that you please subscribe to one or more of our YouTube channels. Subscribing to our channels will also help you discover new shows we're sure you're gonna love. Since you're already tuned into the drama channel, you might be interested in Better Call Saul, Greenleaf, Orange is the New Black, and Yellowstone. And remember, we have channels for other genres too, so please don't be shy about subscribing to them either. Now, I know you guys are probably worried about notifications. You don't want your phone going off like ping, ting, 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 ting every time you take a step. So don't worry, they're optional. It's easy. Just hit the subscribe button now for an even easier AfterBuzz experience. And if you do, let us know in the comments. Be like, hey girl, I subscribe, and you know what? You'll get a shout out right here from your lovely host of DISHIN Days. Thank you for being the best friends, and we promise to, did I say best friends
Best
or
friend.
fans?
You said friends.
Whichever. We promise to continue to do our best to serve you. There we go. That announcement brought to you by the kind folks of AfterBuzz TV. All right, let's get into tidbits. So we have Trip, Claire, Sierra, and Ben. Claire,
So do we think that Trip purposely broke the perfume bottle?
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
First of all,
I wish we would have seen it.
yeah.
You know?
I do too.
It was a
'cause I
little
was
odd.
confused.
It was a little
I was like,
odd
what
to,
is he
to come in
doing?
on
Why
him
is he
cleaning
still
it
in
up.
her
Cleaning.
room?
Yeah.
First of all, why did she leave him there in her room? I would have been like, I'm leaving, go please.
Because the studio was full, they couldn't put the other setup. That's why.
Pause. Can we take a moment to bask in the beauty of Miss Victoria
know.
Conifel?
She was gorgeous.
Rockin'.
I don't know if there was some sort of halo lighting that was hitting her, but the dark, long, wavy hair and the face was beat for the god, and her little skin tight black dress for her first day, and she was excited.
Yes.
She was
Of course she was.
I felt like internally she was like,
She had the
I'm going out
butterflies.
with Ben. I'm going out with Ben. I'm going out with Ben.
I never
I'm
felt like
going
this
out
with
with
Trip.
Ben."
I never felt like
Right.
this with Trip.
And then Trip standing at the door like, You ain't
Yeah.
never tried to dress up for me. I got the sweatpants and shirt and half makeup.
Well, I love them showing the different sides of Sierra and Ben, and that
Yeah.
had everything to do with what they were wearing this week.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
They both look so great together, and her, and the way she looks at him and all that, and that moment when she was in the room with Trip and he went shoot, and she was like, oh yeah, I forgot you were allergic to my perfume.
I know, like
She's
another
so
reason that should have
annoyed.
dumped
Yeah.
her.
that
Yeah.
annoyed me before, and it annoys me now.
Yeah, and that I think that pissed him off, which is
Yeah.
why he was
broke
like,
the
oh,
perfume.
so you know what? I'm allergic to the perfume, and I know you're wearing it for him. Whoops. So sorry about that. But that poor first date, though, like to
I feel
end
like sorry, not to, but I feel like in that moment where they like had this disdain for each other suddenly, like that made me like, oh, like it made me, I don't know, it gave me feelings. Like I don't want them to hate each other.
I think it's only because he hates the fact that she's with Ben.
Well, and I think he feels betrayed because he realizes now that she had feelings for Ben all along and just went with him because, you know, she thought maybe Ben had started that, or Ben had started that fire. But then as soon as she found out he didn't, she's like all with Ben. You know what
but
I mean?
the bottom line is she didn't do that intentionally. All of that is true,
Yeah.
but it was on a very unconscious level, and as hurtful
I
as it
don't
is,
know. I don't know if I want to believe that it was on
She
an
was in
unconscious
denial.
level.
I think
she was
she
in
was in
denial, but she knew
denial.
she had feelings for Ben.
And
And she used Trip to try to like get over them. You know what I mean? Like she's not completely innocent in all
It
this.
happens.
So I just feel bad. I don't want Trip and Sierra to hate each other. But
Get over it. It happens.
Get over. Damn.
Brad K in the chat room said, so reformed rapists and murderers, that's what you call a catch in Salem. Girl, do you know how many folks have done some stuff in
Jack-
Salem?
I mean, I was gonna say that's kind
Jack
of a
was.
yes.
Jack.
Yeah, Jack.
Yeah.
Marlena was the Salem stalker at one point, killing everybody.
Okay, the
until
thing
they
about
all-
Marlena is anytime Marlena has a personality, it's because she's being drugged or she's possessed by the devil. Like Marlena never genuinely does something bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why she's like one-dimensional.
But
She's Dr. Marlena Evans.
Ben said the same
The
thing. He
Dr.
wasn't in his right mind when the necktie killings
Right.
happened.
Right.
But everyone doesn't see that and is like you're a murderer. But then the things that Abigail has done during her DID is excused, and it's like poor Abigail. That's such a shame
Yeah.
for you to go through
Okay.
that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's kind of like,
Yeah, I get your point.
I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all is forgiven in the world of soaps.
If it's written well enough.
Yeah. And that's it. All right. Well, that's it. We're briefly.
We talked about the date. Yeah, we talked about the date.
We briefly that first date. I was like, isn't Chez Rouge open? like I started naming other restaurants. I was like,
Cheating Heart.
yeah. I was like, did y'all not notice that like John and Marlena were like in the pub and like that's why it's closed? Like
Right.
there was a part of me that before Marlena was like, oh, you know, you got everyone to leave. I so thought that Sierra and Ben were gonna walk into the pub, and then John and Marlena were gonna be there, and then it was gonna turn into like a double date sort of a thing where they felt welcomed and comfortable, and then we just saw like one power couple and then a beginning power
I
couple.
didn't even think about that.
And because Marlena
Supports Ben.
supports
Yeah.
him, so I felt like there would have been this like at
was a
ease
moment.
kind of moment, but
Yeah.
John flipped that clothes sign and was like, nope, not today.
Not having it.
I'd like
Not today.
the little romantic moment in the park. And I love the moment where he tells her that he's working for Stefan.
Yeah.
Yes,
That
I was so happy about
fantastic.
that.
I'm so happy. I wasn't sure if he was going to be honest with her.
Yeah,
But he was. And so, yeah, I like that moment.
I felt good about that. Little Miss Claire, girl, every hug and wink is not a step towards you getting with Trip.
In her mind, it is.
Was it, Tony,
Little Sammy Brady.
were you the one that said that she's a Kate in training?
Sammy.
Sammy and
Sammy
Training.
in training.
A
She's a
Sammy in
Sammy
training, yes.
Oh yeah,
Totally.
especially that
She
last look
is-
when Trip decided to stay and he left the room and she was like, got him. I was like, look at Sammy Jr. just working.
Yeah.
Although I deemed Will Sammy Jr. too. Oh well. All right, so there was that. Eric, Brady, Sarah, and Maggie.
But I think too
Oh.
never mind.
What?
I see it down here. Never mind.
Okay. I already know and feel I'm Team Eric when it comes to who should raise Holly. I kind of feel like it's what Nicole wanted.
Right.
So if that's what she wants, then that's what should happen. And do not put this little girl through anything
Right.
else.
Who all heard Nicole say that? Eric and Brady? Like, I'm trying to remember when she said this and who was there to
She
hear
said
it.
it to Eric.
She
So
said,
to Eric.
I think she just said it to Eric when
When she passes her
Yeah.
to him,
Right.
right?
But
in
Brady
the-
was there too, right?
No, this
I
was
don't
in
think
the
he was
apartment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think Brady knows this.
No.
Well, I'm just wondering how this whole thing, like, oh, she wanted her wishes can be granted if Eric was the only one to hear it. Like, people, they can cut holes in that, and
Sure.
you know.
But I also kind of feel like if it's kind of no secret that they were supposed to be together, and they would have been if Brady had not came in and messed them up.
Right.
So I don't understand why this whole custody thing is about to happen.
I totally,
with Holly.
I agree with you. I'm on Team Eric
Yeah.
for custody of little
Holly.
but I totally get Maggie's concern.
Yeah.
He's fighting with his brother in public. He's derailed before. I mean, I think Maggie just feels he's not in a good place right now to be raising a child, and I have to agree with her.
I agree with her, and I agree that Brady's not the best. If that ever comes up, I don't know if that's been on air yet. But I think it was in the promo though that Chloe and Brady.
Oh,
Because then Chloe could have a claim too.
that's right. I didn't think about that.
But I don't think Brady's the answer. I think the answer is she should stay with Maggie.
I think she should stay with Maggie right now.
James agrees with y'all, but JLJ says I'm a grandparent and agree with Maggie. No.
No, I agree. Eric is not in a good space right now.
But like
So temporarily, I think Holly should stay with Maggie and just give this time. And
But like Sarah Horton said, they didn't know.
there's no perfect time. I know.
But they didn't know how the fight started. You know what I mean? Like they walked in on the fight and Maggie was already side-eyeing like what was happening.
Right.
And she was like, we don't know what started that.
But Maggie said what I thought. It doesn't matter what started it. Doesn't matter who started it. They were in the middle of it, and it shouldn't have happened.
I did kind of like Brady pointing out to Eric that he's not 100% innocent.
Absolutely.
I was like, oh, okay, Brady. I was kind of on your side on this.
Did you watch?
I did. I did. I didn't like that at all. Actually, I thought it was just reaching for straws. Eric or Brady.
The Brady and
yelling
Eric
at
fight?
Well, Brady
I
telling
thought he
Eric,
did.
"Well,
He's
you're not
fighting.
completely to blame for this." I was just like, "Now you're just I don't know."
No, he wasn't reaching. He had a legitimate.
Yes and no.
Eric and Nicole cheated behind Brady's back.
I get that, but what Brady did,
The retaliation
It's
wasn't
completely-
Started the
not
whole
justifiable, but
completely.
but Eric
in a different league of
Eric
its
always
own.
does act like holier than thou, and we give Eric a lot of credit, but he's not completely innocent.
Sure.
Yeah. Yes, but I don't think Eric did that maliciously, and Brady did what he did maliciously. So in my opinion, that's different.
Worse. Okay.
And worse. Yeah.
Can I just say, what was it, Mike Bowen? Just sent Holly upstairs in the Horton house for 15 years.
Yeah.
Dang.
And then have her come back down.
That's great.
All right, let's move it right along to our next little tidbit, which is Lucas, Chloe, and Brady.
This can be a
I
short
am
one.
so horribly disappointed in his whole exit. Like how the
Yeah.
reason he's going is just like,
Okay, so it's clear from what that Lucas and Chloe had to break up because they're establishing something with Chloe and Brady.
Yeah.
I don't understand why that meant Lucas had to completely leave. You know,
But he also made a good point. He was like, Allie needs him.
but why'd they have to
but
write
it's
that?
so out of the blue.
I actually liked that it was her drinking that is making him go, no, I need to be there.
Yeah.
I need to be a dad. I need it. Like, I think if it was like, she's not doing good in school,
Meh.
but I think because it's something that's so personal to him and he doesn't want his daughter to turn into what he's turned into, I think it was, that was believable to me. And I liked that he even said, you know, I have to do this. I don't expect you to wait for me. You know, I expect you to go on with your life and stuff. I don't know. I thought it was handled well. As much as I don't want Lucas to go anywhere.
Yeah.
I thought it was handled very well, personally. But that's me.
Couple of things. Me World. Oh, where did it go? Me World pointed out that.
Where'd it go?
Me World 2 says Nicole was a porn star, Maggie and Brady were both alcoholics, Victor was a mobster, and Eric was a drunk driver. No one is perfect in Holly's family circle, which is very true.
Absolutely.
And then,
well, and that's why I got upset with Maggie saying the stuff that she was saying about Eric, because I'm like, I mean, I get it. I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, you've been there and you've done that, and
But she's consistently shown that she has her life under control. Eric hasn't shown that.
there's no reason why they all can't band together,
together.
to
Agreed.
raise Holly.
Yeah.
Right.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
Also, I want to note this moment in history. Daquan says, "Shut the front door." Mark and I are in agreement. # Team
Team
Eric.
Eric. Yep, I agree 100%.
All right.
What did he say here? They need.
So
to keep
Allie is a
Lucas.
young adult. That's what I'm saying. I was like, how old is Allie to
Well,
where
that's
she's
what
singing
I
that
was
line?
saying.
That's surprising. Maybe they're coming back. So
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know. I was okay with that.
Okay, yeah. So Lucas is preparing to leave. So that's that. Moving on to Eli, Lonnie, Sheila, and Abe. How do you guys like the sudden pairing of Eli and Lonnie?
I don't think it's.
I don't
to
think
me,
it's
it's not
sudden.
sudden, but the sudden change of heart. You mean
Yes.
Well, I think Sheila is the whole reason it seems sudden. Like something needs to happen.
the jealousy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of
You know,
kicked
that's what's
Lonnie
moved
into
it
gear.
along.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
I had this thought. I like them together. I just thought and we all knew that Eli was like ready. I felt like Lonnie's change of heart was a little quick, and it adjusted too quick.
A little bit.
So it made me kind of go, you know what I mean? Like I feel like maybe if I had one more week of her just kind of being like
Simmering a little bit.
maybe reminiscing on like some moments that they had together that
And having
great.
some kind of organic realization.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I do have.
So you needed a little bit more foreplay.
A little bit, and then maybe a confession, not at work, but like they ran into each other at Horton Town Square or at the park, or maybe she called and said, "Hey, can I talk to you?" And then they had this real moment outside of the police station. I think it would have worked a little bit better for me, but I do like that they are together.
Yeah.
Are they setting something up to happen between Sheila and Abe?
That's what I was wondering.
Because it's kind of weird.
The way,
Right?
and again,
Like,
the
I
way
still don't know-
Valerie's off the canvas now,
Yes.
and she's already disappointing Abe by canceling the weekend.
Yes.
And then here's Sheila, so it could possibly
You
be.
think?
And were those shoes like? Did we ever find out what
No,
the
they
gift
were.
was?
They were. The gifts was she organized all of the papers that were messy, that were on his messy desk. But then he got mad because he had a system. Like the mess was his system, and he knew where everything was. I can totally relate to this.
Yeah.
Because
Don't touch my stuff.
like my desk
I
can
think
be a
there was a
freaking
car
mess, but I
chase.
know where everything
I
is.
missed that.
I think I missed something too.
Yeah. No, that's
Okay.
because that's what it was.
Because the last thing I remember is that
It was not shoes.
In Horton Town Square, she gave him a bag.
It was
How
a
Abe got his
box.
It was a
A
box.
box of organized papers and receipts.
But it wasn't really
From his
that
desk.
organized either. It
Well,
was
it was
just
paper clipped, and I'm
like
sure
rubber banded. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who said Eli and Tony? Yeah.
Let's ask them
Do you
how
have a
he feels
name
about
for
that.
Maxine's son yet?
Terrence.
Terrence. So
It's a-
so it's Eli and Terrence.
Yeah, it's the name that I dreamt of.
Ooh.
Yeah.
T-Lie.
Kirsten Marie says, "I love Sheila too. It's cool to see T-Balls on days." I have to agree.
She's fun.
I like her.
She her and Leo are kind of the comedy
Yeah.
relief.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like that I feel like she's just kind of playing herself.
You know what I feel like too? I feel like Sheila is us on the show. Like she's like just calls people out on the stuff that they're saying. Like
You're just being a
you know
jerk.
what I mean? You're like,
No,
like
I'm not
when-
going to forgive you.
Yeah,
No.
when Eli was like, "Why did you make her believe we said?" Well, you didn't stop and tell her. You know,
Right,
like,
yeah.
she's like what we would be saying,
Yeah.
looking at the TV. Like, you know.
I like that.
So I do. I like Sheila too.
All right, and then last but not least, John and Marlena, which we kind of talked about already, like them having their moment in the Brady pub and all of that.
And I like
And
how
they agreed that even though their sons are like at odds, that they're they're together.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
So,
they're going to
that
work
was all
together
that they
to bring the family back.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, that was your week of days, and now it's time to scurry on through our segments, and we'll start with mine, which is Tony's official 3 Snaps Award. Oh, snap! All right, so my 3 Snaps Award goes to someone who has risen from the dead and made themselves very comfortable in the Kiriakis mansion. Not only is he filling the house with his sass and quick wit, but he is also trampling through on any alcoholic beverage that he can get his hands
And
on.
desserts.
Yes. So my 3 Snaps Award goes to the very sassy Leo Starks, aka Greg Rickard, who is living it up in the Kiriakis mansion. Can I also say that one of my favorite moments was when he like said something and then he grabbed his martini glass and was like,
Yeah. He walked out.
just
the door.
like out.
Yeah.
Loved it. So Leo
Knows how
Starks,
to make an exit.
yes, Greg Rickard, you get Tony's official 3 Snaps Award. Oh snap! All right, and back from the dead, because we haven't had this since he gave
What
it to
did
Billy Flynn one
say
weekend.
this week? Oh,
It's now time for Mark's Quote of the Week.
It's actually not Billy Flynn. Thank you, smartass. It is. I was getting worried because I wasn't really finding anything that jumped out at me, and then this happened on Friday when Lonnie and Eli were in the room, and the scene starts, and Eli goes, "What about bowling?" And she said, "Bowling?" He goes, "What's wrong with bowling? It's a great first date."
Bowling is a fabulous
And
first date.
Lonnie
That's
said,
horrific.
"If you're 12."
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, bye-bye.
I thought
I literally said, "What? Did she just say if you're 12?" Rewound it, played it again, said, "Lonnie, you are officially the quote of the week."
Mark's
There it
Quote
is.
of the Week. I totally thought you were gonna give it to Leo for saying these twinks are
I didn't even go back and rewatch his scenes because I wasn't sure, and then I think it was before Friday came on. I think Thursday I started going back to look, and I was like, well, wait, Leo had maybe some funny stuff already, so I went back to look again, and then Lonnie happened. I was like, oh no,
never
no.
mind.
She's
All right,
getting that.
and now
Missed
it's time
out.
for fashion, elegance,
Have to say, there were several contenders this week for the Designer Day Spotlight. Chloe, Kate, but Lord have mercy. When Robert Scott Wilson, Mr. Ben Weston, is all prettied up in a suit jacket and winter overcoat. Oh my gosh. Hands down, no contest.
Yeah,
I can't.
I was like looking sharp as
Oh
head
my
of
God.
security.
I love this whole persona. So goes to Robert Scott Wilson. Mr. Ben Weston gets our Designer Days.
And now it's time for
DISHIN Days
we'll go with it.
Fan of the Week. Woohoo!
Mark, you gonna give us the quote of the week
Yeah,
today?
if I can read this, is really
Fan of the
tiny.
week.
Fan of the week is going to. I'm assuming this is an iTunes.
Yep. It's a brand new one
Brand
from
new.
yesterday.
Fan of the week says, "Just found you." Smoshia 76 on December 8th. Keep up the good work. Question: the spoilers online showed a model being hired at the
as the new
EJ, but he's disappeared now. Did something change?
Yeah, he
we
went
don't-
to Italy.
Okay.
Sammy drug him to Italy.
Oh, she's talking about EJ himself. I thought
Yeah,
she meant
yeah.
like the actual character or actor. So,
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
But yes, because you wrote a comment and gave us 5 stars, you are Fan of the Week. Look at how you had that queued up. Good for you.
And now let's
we-
go back to
There it is.
Caption That.
All right. This week's photo was of Kate and Gabby in the square with Gabby dressed for summer and Kate dressed
I know.
like there's a blizzard coming, like she's in Game of Thrones. So this week's caption goes to Kristen Beauchamp on Facebook with Kate saying, "You're looking at my outfit like it's not right for this weather, and she's wearing a dress like it's summer."
So true. I never noticed that.
They're
I didn't
polar
notice that either.
opposites.
Total
And-
opposites.
Right? And that was this week's
Caption that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we run out of time, we want to show you a sneak peek of what's to come on next week's episodes of Days of Our Lives. Check it out.
Surprise.
This holiday season, they're not just getting even,
Why are you marrying this blackmailing creep?
they're getting ugly. Days, NBC weekdays.
There's a lot of revenge going on.
Everyone's getting
Did I tell you guys? Did I tell you guys I met the promo editor at Day of Days? Were you
did
with
you?
me?
Oh.
Someone was with me.
I
You
was
were
there.
with me.
I was there. Yeah,
She came up to me. and
Oh,
was-
yes.
She came up to me and was like, "Oh, hi, you guys." She's like, "You guys show my promos at the end of your show," and so we had a little
Yeah.
discussion
She was
about
very
it.
nice.
Fantastic.
And
Yeah.
she's like, yeah, she like tries to find whatever compelling moment she can and kind of make the promos a little bit more fun, that it's and compelling, and yeah. So I gave her kudos for all of us.
Well, it's definitely very
was funny.
compelling. I will say, Kate Mancy, okay, in that promo,
I
she is
love
really like
how the
giving
tables
it.
have turned
Yeah.
here. I love it.
Yeah, and there's gonna be a lot of bitch slapping next week. I love it. Or like although that punch, I don't know what that was.
What?
Who's?
Raves.
Oh.
Oh,
I don't. We'll see.
okay.
All right.
No, looks good.
All right.
Well,
That was the week.
that has been the
That's
week.
been our week.
And that has been us. Before we head out, Michael Mattis.
Yeah.
Let the kind Wonder World. Oh my God.
You
So
can,
what's
you
going
can
on
find me on
today?
Twitter at MLMattis1 and on Instagram at MLMattis.
This time you said it so confidently, I think you might actually be right.
And you can find me on Twitter at Tami Goveia, Insta and Facebook, Tami Goveia Official.
And Mark J. Freeman.
Where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Lorraine Love, Lorayne Love.
And of course, if you can't get enough of Mark because he was so quiet today, you can catch
Never
him.
quiet.
You can catch him right after this for the RuPaul's Drag Race after show happening at 5 p.m.
For the Christmas special.
for the Holla Slay special.
Yeah.
And of course, you guys can find all of us on Dishin Days on Facebook and Instagram, and _ Dishin Days on Twitter. And you can find little old me at Lounging with Tony on all social media platforms. Thank you guys so
Bye,
much for tuning
guys.
in, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, next week we have Marcy Miller. Marcy Miller's coming in next
yeah,
week
by the way.
at 3 p.m.
I was wondering if you were going to say that.
So make sure you
Just
check
under the
that
buzzer.
out. Yeah. Okay. Bye. Y'all.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.